Good morning and welcome to another episode of Astronomy Answered Simply. Today we're going to answer the question, what's inside a blue hypergiant star, or a blue supergiant star? Well, supergiant stars are still stars. The only difference is that they have a whole lot more mass than smaller stars. Blue stars are high mass, high energy, and have a surface temperature much higher. Our sun, to give you an example, is a medium mass. Actually, it's fairly low mass star. It has a lifespan of about 10 billion years. We're halfway through our sun's life, and it's composed like 75% hydrogen, 25% helium, maybe 24.9% helium, then a tenth of percent of various other elements present in the system when the star collapsed, or the gas cloud collapsed into a protostar. So blue stars, or red stars, which are thought to be the most common in the galaxy, but they're also the hardest to see, are low mass and can live tens to hundreds of billions of years. They can have lifespans of 15 to 20 to 30 billion years, and they have emission spectrum around 4,000 Kelvin or even 3,000 Kelvin surface temperature, which for a human, that's still really, 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 really hot, would vaporize us. But for a star, that's really low energy, and would last a long time, so they're very slow fusing. They would have a very, very slow hydrogen to helium conversion process. Now, blue stars, they're fascinating because they are massive, anywhere from 30 to 1,000 times the mass of our sun. That's huge. That would be a star the size of Mercury's orbit. That's unbelievably massive. Blue stars, these supergiant stars, also have very short lifespans. It's going to be made of the same thing every other star is made of: hydrogen, helium. Depending if it's a young star, it'll be 99% hydrogen, 0.9 or 1% everything else. If it's a middle-aged blue giant star, say 5 million years old or ish, it could be 50% hydrogen, 49.99% helium, and then 0.001% everything else in the universe, or every other element on the periodic chart. Because the age of a blue star, they are so short-lived, like 10 million year lifespan versus 10 billion year lifespan or 50 billion year lifespan. They've had chances for other stars to live, die, explode, cast out materials, neutron star mergers to create high density elements all over the universe. And so there could be any makeup of every element present in the stars, just not in sufficient quantities to cause the core to degrade and collapse. Mostly, though, it's going to be hydrogen and helium, because those make up most of the universe right now. They're the two most abundant elements. So as time progresses and more stars form and more stars fuse hydrogen into helium, helium will might eventually become the dominant gas in the universe. But we will see. Time will tell if we're around to, continue observations. Now, really, that's the main thing. Pretty much once the core starts fusing oxygen into or starts fusing iron and briefly nickel, that's when the star is going to die. And I have another video already on that particular topic. So, but the primary elements, hydrogen, helium, if it's 9.5 million years old, it's going to be primarily helium, very little hydrogen, and it's going to be getting ready to close to probably start burning oxygen real soon, or fusing helium into carbon, carbon into oxygen, just the various combinations of things you can fuse that occur in fusion in stars. Eventually, the blue hypergiants will fuse into iron, which is going to begin the process of core collapse, and then it'll briefly it'll fuse nickel through electron capture, but that's going to be those processes, as I've explained in another video, consume energy. They take more energy to fuse than they emit, which is what happens at all the elements below iron. As fusion occurs, they emit energy to keep that outward pressure going, which prevents the star from actually collapsing in on itself and turning into a black hole. So that pretty much sums up that. More about emission spectrums and black body curves and how emission spectrums work in the Quora answer, which you can link to. Feel free to ask me questions, like, subscribe, and hey, enjoy astronomy. I love it. Keep looking up, keep asking questions, and keep learning. Have a great day.